Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we have ourselves a track from an act named Yashar titled Lost. And if we switch over to here, we have some single art here that kind of reminds me a bit of the Vaporwave that I've been listening through recently. We're going to listen through this track from start to finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go.
I'm lost. I swear I will be better than I was. I thought that I was special, we will be together, but I've never been so wrong. Now I'm low.
Okay. Just before we go any further, there's so much to appreciate. These really soft string kind of synths with the really competent vocal performance. Repetition of the low, you know, that repetition of that line there is catchy. And now we've got the drums bringing it up, man. This is awesome. Great uses of a sequencer there as well. And that riser just clinging in there. Oh, dude, this slaps, this bounces. Damn, man. There is absolutely no filler in this track. I didn't realize I needed this in my life, but I love it. At 2 minutes 25, it is so short and sweet that I already know that I'm going to miss it. Fantastic sequence into that drop. Phenomenal vocal filtering there. It actually is really sensational. I love the wispy reverb that we've got on the vocal chain there, and the da-da-da, that bit of tension in that final chord of the harmony. It's a really classy effort. Oh, sensational. Sensational.
Now I'm low. I swear I will be better than I was. I thought that I was special, we will be together, but I've never been so wrong. Tell me, was it?
Again, fantastic contemporary sort of house production here. I love the vibe of it, man. Is that a house actually? I'm not kind of sure what kind of genre this is. I know there's a lot of different subgenres and everything like that, but that chord note groove, that kick there, that EDM vibe is electric, man. And I just love, because it's so short, you're not sick of that theme here, that drop riff, that motif with those basses, the perkiness and the coloration there. It's stunning. And we're going to, I suppose, try and keep some compliments to the conclusion, but genuinely, I'm really impressed by this. This is my first time with Yashar. Great work. Again, that's unexpected. I don't believe the vocals will come in at that half point there. And it's like, oh wait, what's happening? And then slam back in that theme. And it's just such effective songwriting and arrangement. Damn, dude, this is actually absolute fire. This is fire, man. Like, I'm gonna make a very strong statement here. Arguably strong, considering, because this is my conclusion for this review. I would legitimately listen to Yashar outside of these reviews, and I do not say that often. I don't. And the reason I don't is because I simply have no inclination to. That isn't saying that the majority of the people that I work with aren't competent. There's a lot of really incredible special musicians that I review, and I've done like near to 1,000 of these at this point. But you know what I will say is that Yashar, it's just such a complete package that you really can't fault it. I mean, if we go through the various components, the story of it, I think is highly relatable to people. Someone putting everything into a relationship and thinking they're going to be together, and then just finding out that they're alone and it just wasn't meant to be. I think a lot of people will be able to relate to a story like that. The singer told it in an absolutely compelling and meaningful way. The vocal performance was sensational. We're really comfortable within our range, and the melodies that were chosen there were absolutely fantastic. We didn't overcomplicate it or exaggerate the performance either. There wasn't a whole lot of ornamentation that maybe took away from the rest of the arrangement, you know, it felt very cohesive, like there's chemistry between the singer and the accompaniment. It does sound like someone who is just dealing with that loss, you know, that feeling lost. So in effect, I suppose the singing is also, as a final note, the performance was authentic. The structure of the track, yeah, the traditional, you know, intro build, verse build drop, with the build having the riser, and you had that midway breakup of that drop there with the vocals coming back in, and it's so stunning. It's so effortlessly, like, impressive, because there's just so much in there to pay attention to and be engaged by. There's absolutely no filler. You don't get enough time to be bored by it. It's high level, man. It's the good stuff. It's the good shit, you know. I'm really happy with this. The structure of it is compelling. It's short, 2 minutes 30, easy to digest. The main motif there, you had a 4-chord progression there for that main drop where, yeah, what made that last bit compelling is that you went from an F to an E major, and that's that parallel major coming in, which gives a bit of added sort of sassiness and zazziness to the end of the loop. And it really adds to the angst, to the experience there. The drums, that chord no groove there, along with those builders, those rises on the 8ths and 16ths, and it's just, and it's not just that, we had space in the arrangement. You know, we had moments where we just had nothing hanging over the precipice before that drop. It was really clever. You get to appreciate, have a little bit of a gap before you smack back into it. All too often I have people going 100% most, if not all the time, and it's like, no, the listener needs a moment to come down from that. You know, you can't just have the listener going full bore all the time. It's too overwhelming for him, you know? And when I hear musicians like this, especially those bass lines, dude, boom, 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 ba-da-da, boom, 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 boom. There's a catchy melody on those bass and synth bits as well. You didn't just need to have the main lead in the verse sections. You can follow along to that as well. There's great alternative voicing there. It's nice and peppy and punchy with a bit of a staccato feel there. The mixing, the production is absolutely pristine. But I suppose on top of that, just the synths that we had at the start are a complete contrast to that. So soft and soothing that it almost kind of, you can imagine what the person is like in that room, dealing and coping with their emotions and their thoughts. I mean, it's great. And like the production, the recording, mixing and mastering is splendid. You have phenomenal EQing. The padding of the instruments in the mix is absolutely just gorgeous. You know, everything's nice and big sounding, and everything's glued and positioned correctly in the frequency spectrum with nice filtering and stuff like that to kind of get it to behave itself and not notch over and cause any weird resonances. The effects change, the reverbs, delays there, the filtering of the vocals in some parts, and adjusting, and a bit of automation there as well. It's just excellent, and I mean, it was nice and loud without pumping. Limiting compression was absolutely, it was just nailed it. All in all, this is one of the strongest EDM tracks I've listened to throughout the entirety of 2022. And I really hope that people can listen to this track and learn from it, because I think it's where people making this kind of music, if they're not at this level, they need to get there. I think that's the way to be competitive in the industry. You know, I don't mean as in like everyone should try and compete against each other, but what I mean is, if you want the listener to have a great time, if you want to know that your music is good enough to be able to entertain people, you need it to be this kind of quality, you know? But effectively, this is my review of Yashar's Lost. Wow, I've been fanboying over that. Hopefully it doesn't come across as disingenuous. I genuinely get excited when I feel this way about music. Obviously, I try to critique it. If there was anything that stood out to me that was incorrect, I'd back from it, but I just can't really fault it. If you enjoy this track, please do go Yashar some love via his various social medias, or via their various social medias. They're like Facebook and Instagram too. And stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time. It's either hell more than there with all the crazy stuff going on, and I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.